It is 7 p.m. in Bangui. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our 7 p.m. newscast on Info Television. We kickstart with our top stories. Following the prohibition of certain activities on election day, Yaoundé is slowly coming back to life. Early this morning, the city's atmosphere is marked by a gradual return to activities, with vehicles back on the move and some business owners reopening their shops. And October 13 marks World Thrombosis Day, a global initiative to educate people about thrombosis, its risks, symptoms, and prevention methods. Those were headlines. Details right ahead. Welcome back. And a gradual return of activities has been observed on the streets of Yaoundé following the prohibition of some activities and businesses on election day. Jessica Ndiwum toured several neighborhoods in the nation's capital to get the ambience and brought back the following reports.
Following the prohibition of some activities and businesses on election day, Yaoundé is gradually returning to its usual busy atmosphere. The once quiet streets that stood still on election day are beginning to feel again the sound of vehicles and conversations, signaling a slow but steady return to normal life. From the early hours of the morning, a few vehicles could be seen circulating through major roads, while taxi services and commercial bikes cautiously resumed operations. The atmosphere remains calm but observant as residents go about their day. In several neighborhoods, such as Rond-Point Express, Acacia, and Poste Central, a majority of businesses have resumed activities, while others are cautious as to post-electoral atmosphere reigning across the country. Visibly, military can be identified in almost all streets and major roundabouts in the political capital, ensuring order and security, while residents await the official result of the October 12, 2025 presidential election in Cameroon.
The Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, says the October 12 presidential election was peaceful all over the national territory. He made the statement this Sunday, October 12, 2025, during a press conference in Yaoundé. Jude Kenji tells us more.
Minister Paul Atanganji of Territorial Administration this Sunday, 12 of October 2025, in a press conference, reported that the election was conducted smoothly across the nation. He confirmed the vote took place effectively in all 360 subdivisions of the country. 31,655 polling stations where ballot papers for all 12 candidates were available.
The election was hitch-free throughout the national territory, just like the campaigns which ended yesterday at midnight without any major incident, despite the excesses of some candidates. As instructed by the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, the presidential election effectively took place in all the 360 subdivisions of the country. Administrative authorities identified 31,653 polling stations and confirmed that ballot papers of all 12 candidates approved by the Constitutional Council were deposited by Elections Cameroun in all polling stations in the 10 regions.
The electoral process was monitored by a significant number of observers, with the minister issuing 5,575 accreditations from 165 national and foreign organizations. However, a critical observation was the notably low presence of candidate representatives at polling stations, a key element for independent verification.
They, however, noted a very low turnout of representatives of several candidates at polling stations nationwide. The Minister of Territorial Administration received accreditation requests from 165 national and foreign organizations, diplomatic missions, NGOs, civil society, and religious associations. The Minister of Territorial Administration issued 5,575 accreditations to observers deployed across the country's 10 regions.
The core of the minister's address was a severe warning against what he termed criminal activity. He revealed authorities had evidence of attempts by candidates to declare results through unofficial platforms, an act he described as a red line that must not be crossed.
I want to take this opportunity to reiterate to candidates that whosoever is tempted to engage in this criminal activity should stop before it's too late. That is the red line that must not be crossed. Candidates for presidential elections should be reminded that they all signed a code of good conduct drafted by Elections Cameroun, which requires them to respect the entire electoral process and the laws of the Republic. The administration will take drastic measures to put an end to any attempt of fabricating fake election results and publishing them on illegal platforms. Defaulters, regardless of their political status or social rank, shall face the heavy arm of the law.
Minister Paul Atanganji outlined the official path forward, emphasizing that only state-appointed vote-counting commissions and the Constitutional Council were authorized to manage and proclaim results. He stated that any disruption would be considered as a casus belli, concluding with a historic warning from President Paul Biya.
Voting in Manfe Central proceeded peacefully on October 12, presidential election day, signaling a return to normalcy after the violence that marred the 2018 polls. Despite earlier heavy rainfall, residents turned out in significant numbers to cast their ballots, reflecting growing public confidence in the electoral process. Patience Shintum has the details.
Unlike the 2018 election, which was marred by insecurity and gunfire, voting in Manfe Central today is calm and peaceful. Despite heavy rain earlier, voters turned out in large numbers, signaling a return to normalcy. The serene atmosphere reflects growing public confidence and civic participation.
I am satisfied with what I have seen so far. We got up this morning with heavy rains and we had some worries. But as at now, you have noticed that all the polling stations are functioning without any difficulty.
My problem is that my people should be represented, and those people who are supposed to be representing the institutions, the administration and ELECAM, they're there. And therefore, elections are going off validly.
One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by inferiors or those who will happily ruin your life. This was said by Pluto, and I was here definitely to ensure that I performed my civic responsibility.
In a heartfelt display of patriotism, a person with a disability cast their vote at the government practicing primary school polling station in Manfe town. Many others came straight from church services to fulfill their civic duties.
I'm from Red Rapid. From here, go and come. It's almost 1,000 francs. But I decided to come and decide my right as a Cameroonian.
The voting is done very safely. There is enough security on campus. So we are voting without any fear, or we are not coerced to vote somebody. We have a free choice to make.
Polling stations, including the Community Development Center and GS Manfe A and B, saw a steady flow of determined citizens eager to shape the nation's future.
The various calls and threats that we received from the so-called separatist fighters who were calling for a lockdown and for a total boycott of the election on this day. But we are happy that our population has been able to overcome all fear.
Voters praised the electoral process for its organization, security, transparency, and accessibility. As Manfe joins the rest of Cameroon in choosing the next president, hope is high that each vote will count. The peaceful conduct of the election marks a new chapter of resilience and civic responsibility in the division.
And on to this information, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestine Kecha-Coutez, like many other Cameroonians yesterday, exercised her civil duty by voting, accompanied by administrative authorities. She voiced out that her full support has been given to her chosen candidate. Let's now get an excerpt of Minister Celestine Kecha-Coutez.
I'm very happy to have give my voice to the President of the Republic here, because this neighborhood is the neighborhood who received the First Lady. Our population here knows exactly what the head of state did to us. And I'm sure that this Bureau de Vote will be one of the best, because it's the place where the First Lady came for the first time in the West region. And we have seen all the realization of the head of state in this neighborhood. Our children are not going far for school. Our children are not going in the main city. Our children are not going to Lycée Classique. Things are moving here in Baden-Kwadin. And I'm happy to know that in the evening we'll have the best result in the favor of our champion. Congratulations to the head of state.
As Cameroonians headed to the polls on October 12, 2025, some prominent figures in Yaoundé could be seen carrying out their civic duty. They joined millions across the nation in choosing the country's next president. Patient Shintum reports.
It's D-Day in Cameroon, the day millions head to the polls to decide who will lead the nation for the next 7 years. Across the country, the atmosphere is calm but charged with civic duty as voters exercise their democratic rights. In Yaoundé, a newsroom followed some prominent personalities as they took part in this national exercise. At the government primary school Efulan, the Yaoundé City Mayor Luc Messia Tangana was among the early voters. After casting his ballot, he expressed satisfaction with the smooth organization of the process in the center region.
The
reception here is warm. I was welcomed by some young persons who are stationed here to help voters identify their names on the list and their various voting halls. It is calm here and well organized. From there, our team moved to Damas, where we caught up with the mayor of Yaoundé 3, Lucas Owona, as he left his residence for his polling station at Les Rosiers Secondary School. After the usual verification procedure, he too performed his civic duty. The civic responsibility of every Cameroonian is to accomplish one's assignment as a citizen, and it's very important. Apparently, everything is going on well, and I was warmly received. Viewing the atmosphere here, I can vouch that everything is okay. Meanwhile, at the Obobogo polling station in Le Colibri College, elite Andre Mamafuda was also spotted casting his vote, reaffirming the spirit of participation seen across the capital. My wish is that the elections should go on hitch-free and peaceful for all Cameroonians, so that we can all celebrate the victory of whoever will be elected as the best. As the exercise closes, Cameroonians now wait with anticipation for the official results, expected in about 2 weeks, in what many describe as a decisive moment for the nation's future.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for choosing to stick around with the news on Info Television. And as you heard in one of our lead stories, October 13 marks World Thrombosis Day, a global initiative to educate people on thrombosis, its risk, symptoms, and preventive measures. Our reporter, Mimi Tiobo, met with a health specialist who expatiates on the preventive measures of this illness. Let's watch.
World Thrombosis Day is a global healthcare awareness event observed on 13th of October every year to increase worldwide awareness about thrombosis, including its causes, risk factors, indications and symptoms, as well as evidence-based treatment and prevention.
Thrombosis is a key underlying mechanism in various cardiovascular events, and it's influenced by the factors like blood stasis, endothelial injuries, and coagulation.
On this day, healthcare professionals come together to educate and help people in reducing the burden of thrombosis, promoting education, awareness, and necessary actions for better prevention.
For the general signs and symptoms, we have pain, we have swelling, we have redness, warmth at the site, or no symptom at all. Now, for deep venous thrombosis, that's venous, we have it typically affects one leg, where we have a swelling in one leg, especially when you stand for long or walk. You could also have cramps, you could also have skin discoloration or feeling of warmth. Now, for pulmonary embolism, there's sudden shortness of breath. There's chest pain that worsens with deep breaths.
The theme for World Thrombosis Day 2025 is From Head to Toe, Take Control, Prevent Thrombosis, Protect Your Health. This theme emphasizes the importance of understanding the connections between thrombosis and other chronic health issues and encourages individuals to take proactive steps in preventing thrombosis and improving their overall health.
And away from that, the Kon-Yambetta municipality, nestled in the Mbam and Inubu division of the Central region, has seen over the years the stewardship of the mayor, Bijou Ursule Aroy Mbetu. Her tireless drive towards community growth doesn't go unnoticed. We've got the presentation of this locality in all its splendor in this report.
Situated 148 kilometers from Yaoundé, spanning 1,300 kilometers square, Kon-Yambetta has witnessed visible development under Mayor Betu's mandate.
Notre plan communal de développement est basé déjà sur
Our municipal development plan is based on the vision of being able to make Kon-Yambetta a modern city. Kon-Yambetta has many assets. The municipal development plan just adds to what we ourselves had already thought about to do personally. We have thought of a lot, and it includes making our place a touristic city. We have already been lucky to find partners, investors who are ready to support us in the coming days.
Des partenaires, des investisseurs qui sont prêts à nous accompagner dans les jours qui arrivent.
For more than 7 years now, benefits have been countless by this community, as this varies between public spaces and more.
Nous sommes dit, avec tant de potentialité que Kon-Yambetta a,
we told ourselves that with all the potential that Kon-Yambetta has, why not do new things? For example, we have the Mbam, which is part of our heritage, and other things which the Germans left, like monuments. Why won't we valorize it? And again, we had the luck to have a green lake, which is a pride to Kon-Yambetta, and which attracts investors.
la fierté de Kon-Yambetta aujourd'hui et qui nous attire les investisseurs.
In the area, street lights illuminate nights, solar panels are evident, without excluding materials donated to healthcare centers in order to boost facilities. Besides this,
Support is given to mortuary attendants who work without electrification facilities.
Pour le côté de Madame le maire, oui, sans toutefois vous mentir, la dame là c'est une dame. Elle intervient beaucoup plus sur les corps d'ici. Par exemple, si votre corps maire...
Concerning Madame the Mayor, to be honest, she is a good person. She intervened when need be, and she always does. For example, if a dead body spends 2 months here or more, she tells us to do a very good reduction price for the family. She's a good person. This mortuary is different from others because others use cold rooms. We work dry, and we don't even have a generator. We don't have anything. We work dry like that. That's the difference. There's also a preservation method of the face and equally emptying of the body. Like for example, when a body arrives with a bloated stomach, we do the work so that on the removal day, the body comes out intact.
On fait le travail, le jour J, le corps sort intact.
"60 shops are under construction, as well as public toilets and spaces on the way, with interview job creation considered as a priority for Mayor Betu."
Nous fixons pour objectif.
We are fixing an objective, and that is to look for anything that can create jobs, because without jobs, it will be difficult for the population to feel at ease. And we are equally trying to limit rural exodus. You know, in town, there is really nothing much. That's why we need to remake everything here.
Donc tout est à refaire chez nous.
Upon her appointment as mayor, Bijou Ursule Aroy Betu has highly promoted agriculture through yielding rich harvests. Within the community, Kon-Yambetta fosters living together, welcoming migrants from various towns and villages. By so doing, she keeps focusing on growth and community upliftment. And in news out of Cameroon, leaders from more than 20 nations are gathering in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh to chart the way forward in Israel's Hamas peace process. And at the same time, African legal experts are calling for reform of the International Criminal Court, urging dialogue and fairness over withdrawal. Jessica Ndiwum compiled all of that in this report.
Leaders from more than 20 countries are gathering in the Egyptian Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh to hammer out the next steps in the Israel-Hamas peace process. The summit is co-chaired by US President Donald Trump and Egypt's Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Mahmoud Abbas, the leader of the Palestinian Authority, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, and a number of Arab and European leaders are also participating. The release of all 20 living Israel hostages this Monday morning has raised hopes that the war has at last come to an end. But there are many questions that remain to be answered, including who will govern Gaza and whether or not Hamas will disarm, as Israel insists. For now, Hamas has refused and is demanding that Israel troops withdraw completely from Gaza. In Israel, a temporary ceasefire has halted 2 years of devastating conflict between Israel and Hamas, marked by the release of the final 20 living 8 deceased hostages, though the timeline for this somber exchange remains unclear. Their release marks a significant milestone, while in France, as debate intensifies over Africa's relationship with the International Criminal Court (ICC) following the recent withdrawal of the Sahel Alliance countries. Legal experts are calling for reform rather than rejection of the court. Donald Deya, CEO of the Pan-African Lawyers Union, acknowledged the ICC's early bias concerns.
Powerful people on state are showing discontent with respect to what we are doing. We are again at this challenging time, but if it is in the essence of justice that we provide that kind of discomfort by looking into some of these issues, but then we will still rise and we will still ride the storm, and we will also hope that everybody else, including the member states, also will help us. If any system of justice cannot stand against those pressure, that system of justice is doomed for failure.
He further urged the court to rebuild trust and confidence by acting on global atrocities without political bias, communicating transparently with victims, and ensuring investigations are professional and complete.
And that news out of Cameroon takes us to the end of tonight's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching and stay in the company of our programs. Have a good evening.